Drop him. One hook and I'll rock him. One more and I'll stop him. Call the fighter, I'll lock him. Up him. If he reach, then I'll pop him. Street sweeper, I'll wash him. Homicide, come and chalk him. Drop him. One hook and I'll rock him. One more and I'll stop him. Call the fighter, I'll lock him. Up him.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is, has Father Time caught up to Vasiliy Lomachenko? A lot of people are saying he is not the same guy. There's been, I think it was Shakur Stevenson who said it on Twitter, he's not the same guy. And there are other fighters now who they're looking at Vasiliy and they're seeing perhaps some soup. Maybe they think he's souped up. I don't know. But I'm going to turn it over to Conspira G. Has Father Time caught up with Vasiliy Ukrainian Soup Lomachenko?
Hold up. Before G go, let me open up this window.
I'm looking at the window, but I'm not going to jump. Did Father Time catch up with Loma? No. What I think the problem is it could be a combination. I won't even, I know people on Twitter, shout out to my man Irish Boxing Bro, he go hard for this Loma, you know what I mean? But he's saying it's just ring rust. But to be honest with you, this is the same. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to pull a net. Shout out to Rico, who took a picture with Clarissa and who's trying to get at Alicia Bumgarner. Salute to the homie Rico.
Rico Suave, salute. You know what I'm saying?
Watch your mouth.
But back to Irish Boxing Bro. You know what I mean? Talking about, it was just ring rust, right? It could be. However, this is the same Vasiliy that does this every fight, where he keeps processing guys in the beginning rounds, letting guys steal rounds, and then he tries to pick it up later on, right? But I think this is the issue with this this approach, combined with guys like Teofimo and Jermaine Ortiz. They're bigger than Vasiliy, right? And these guys are athletic. So it's one thing when Vasily's fighting a guy that's around his size, then you can see the clear difference. But when Vasiliy is going up against a bigger guy who may not be as talented as Vasiliy, but they do have sharp skills, quick hands, quick feet, you kind of see all right, Vasily's actually having difficulty processing the guy and coming up with a strategy. He usually ends up coming up with a strategy, but it's later on as the opposition fatigues. So to me, I don't think it's necessarily Father Time. I really just think it's just due to his physical capabilities, or his lack of a better term, physical handicaps in the ring, right? Like, he's just a smaller guy. So, he has to do a lot more than the other guy. But when the other guy is fresh, it's really hard for Vasiliy to do what he normally does. He has to wait for that guy to weaken, and then he can capitalize. But now you put in a guy like Shakur or a guy like Devin in there who don't fatigue, who have sharp hands, who have keen defense, who also have high boxing IQ, and who could also move around in the ring. I just don't see Vasiliy actually doing much damage to those two gentlemen. That's why I was like, you know what? I think it's safe to say we eat Ukrainian soup next year, because if Loma goes after Devin Haney, Ukrainian soup. If Loma goes after Shakur Stevenson, Ukrainian soup. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
What about Javante?
Oh, you talking about Tank? If he, I don't think that fight's gonna ever happen. But damn, that's a tough one. I don't know. With Tank, he's like the X factor. So it's like, Vasiliy may be able to do all of that funny stuff, but if Vasiliy gets hit, I don't know if Vasiliy could eat a Tank punch. So I don't know. With that one, I don't want to label Ukrainian soup, because I kind of feel like that would be more of a 50-50 fight. But with the other two gentlemen, I'm really confident that they're gonna actually beat Vasiliy. It has nothing to do with his age, I honestly just think is just certain things that these guys have. Vasily's gonna have a hard time to overcome those things, And the only way I feel like if Vasiliy could win is if Shakur or Devin Haney like idiotically think I have to knock out Loma. You know what I mean? Because I think when guys think they have to knock out a guy, then they put, defense and other cautionary things to the side, and they're going for the kill. They'll gas out, and then they'll be easily susceptible to like getting like countered. So I think they just have to fight. Like, I know people think Shakur and Devin are boring, but all they have to do is fight their boring fight, and I promise you they will actually beat Vasiliy. So yeah, I don't think it's Father Time at all. I just think Vasily's just a smaller guy.
Dollar bill.
Everything that G just said, I co-sign.
I appreciate you, Trill, because I thought you was going to hate on me, man.
Nah. Man, I just want to piggyback off of you. Everything you said was dope. And I wanted to add, he was been off. The young man has been off for a year. Got a lot going on. He was over there with his country and everything. So yeah, that maybe played a little factor into it too. But and shout outs to Jermaine Ortiz, excuse me, because wasn't this his first 12-round fight?
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's even impressive. So
yeah. So, nah, I don't think Father Time has caught up with Vasiliy Lomachenko. Lomachenko still looked like Lomachenko in there. And it was just a guy who's been off for a year, was dealing with other stuff. And besides, and exactly what G was saying, like, this is how he starts off. He usually lets people, exert all their energy, and then he comes on later and usually stops them. This is the Lomachenko blueprint. So G, you was absolutely correct with that. I just wanted to add in, like, maybe it was a little bit of the year off from the ring and, handling the things he had to handle back in the country.
All right, TBE.
All right. I want to quote the great Notorious B.I.G. right now. When it said, "People think I'm wussy, I dare you to stick your stick in this." You feel me? And I cleaned it up. I cleaned it up.
Pause.
Cleaned it up.
What are we talking about, yo?
I cleaned it up. If you think Lomachenko's old, if you think Lomachenko's old, go test your luck. Last night he looked very sharp. He looked very precise. The thing with Loma, he fights very timid sometimes, but he turns it up. He found his killer instinct. He knows when he got to turn it on, but he's not gonna just fall for it. Y'all good? What's up, Kaden?
Are you good? That's the real question.
I'm good. What's up, Kaden?
I like to quote the great Notorious B.I.G. when he said B.I.G. B.O.P.P. No info for the DEA. Come on. I would also like to quote the Notorious B.I.G. when he said, "It's the NOTORIOUS. You just lay down slow." Okay.
I just quoted that line because everybody looking at Loma like he food. Like, if you want food, he's gonna give you a stomach virus, yo. He's like a salmonella, yo. He's like undercooked chicken. Like, it look good when you see it, but then he's gonna mess your stomach up.
Stop making fun of Ned, G.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Stop making fun of Ned, G.
And this is his thing. All I'm saying.
What you saying?
Oh no! I thought Kaden was saying something. But all I'm saying is, Loma ain't no slouch. He showed us last night he's not old. He hasn't lost a step. It's just he went back to the same gameplay. He went back to the same gameplay when he fought Nakatani. He took his head off. When he fought Kome, he took his head off. And last night it was just like he is a new fighter, young fighter, up and coming fighter too. He wanted to see what he was bringing him, and he let him bring it, and then he brought it back to him. And you see, Loma's just here for the long ball. But I'm not gonna act like Loma's all great and mighty. I'm just saying, what's up, G?
Yo, stop it. Yo, Ned, remember before the fight, you was talking ridiculous trash about Devin. Like, yo, Loma's going body bag Devin. After that fight, you was sounding like, And I was like, exactly. You know what I'm
I
saying?
was
Now
the
you
one looking
switching
down
up.
at my phone.
Now you switching up.
Now I still rock with Devin, yo, but I'm just saying Loma's not no slouch. Like it's not like you gonna walk through Loma. Devin's not gonna walk through Loma. Loma not gonna walk through Devin. It's gonna be a great fight. It might be a boring fight, but it's gonna be a great fight because everybody got to see this. It's made for TV. But I'm saying Loma is not no slouch. He's not no walk in the park. And like as we saw, Jermaine learned his lesson because he thought he could just come out and fire off. And Loma learned his lesson because he took his time with Teofimo and he started up late. But now I think he's figuring out his starting time when he got to turn it on, when he got to let people know he's about business. But I'm not knocking Devin or Loma. I'm just saying they're great fighters. They're in this division. And when they face off, it's going to be a great fight. And whoever wins, shout out to that winner because they put on for that. They put it on for boxing. They put it on for that division. That's it. But Loma ain't no wussy. That's all I'm saying.
Has Father Time caught up to Loma? Well, it depends. It definitely caught up to his processor. His processor is too slow. You know, they call him like the Matrix, and they say he does all these things. He's taking too long to process his opponents. He needs that OS upgrade. You know, everything upgrade your operating system. His operating system is a little slow, and these other fighters are catching up to him. So he needs to process his opponent a lot faster. And that's the issue that I'm seeing with Vasiliy Lomachenko. When you talk about from rounds like 9 through 12, where he basically had Jermaine was tired and he was spinning Jermaine and he was doing all the things he needed to do. Now, if you're telling me that Vasiliy is relying on these bigger fighters to get tired before he starts to operate, he's going to be in trouble with Devin. He's going to be in trouble with Shakur. And that's where I'm saying, like, if the issue is his processor, like, because I feel like sometimes we can get caught up in our own mess, right? People talk about how Floyd would always adjust or collect data on his opponents, which is true. But Floyd didn't give away as many rounds as Vasiliy did.
Facts.
While he did it, Floyd would give away a round, maybe two. Floyd would give away the first round, win the second round, give away the third round. But Floyd pretty much would collect the data rather quickly and win a fight to the point where everyone's bored because it's like 10-2, 9-3. But Vasiliy, to me, this was like 7-5, 8-4. That's more competitive than it needs to be. And in Vasiliy's defense, I thought he gave away the first 3 rounds. So that means he was dominant towards the second half of the fight. But you got people really excited the first half of the fight who are going to keep that in mind and say, it reminds me of Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor, their first fight. Bad Intentions came out and dominated, I think, the first 7 rounds, and B-Hop won like the last 5. But he won the last 5. Like, B-Hop dominated the last 5. And like, you remember this too, Trill, because we were watching.
We was together.
Yeah. And everyone was like, oh, B-Hop got it. We were like, nah, he gave away too many rounds. And everyone was like, nah, there's no way B-Hop can lose. I'm like, yo, you don't score? Like, who you think who's A? Like, if this was hood rules, B-Hop got that.
Yeah,
like,
B-Hop beat
in the hood, right? You know what I'm saying? Right, judges? B-Hop got that. Like, who I think won using the eye test, like I saw who, like B-Hop would have won. But Bad Intentions Taylor won like the first 7 rounds until he tied down and then B-Hop beat him. So, like, with Vasiliy, I see the same thing. It's like, bro, that's what cost you with Teofimo. And Teofimo needed the 12th round on my card, and he had enough to turn it on and get the 12th. So when you're moving up against guys like Devin, when you're moving up against guys like Shakur, I've got a lot of respect for Jermaine Ortiz, and I think he's a very talented fighter. How good he is, we may not know. He may actually go on and get some victories that make this fight look even better for Vasiliy later on in life. But what I'm confident in saying is he's not Devin. Devin was the youngest pro in the game at one point. The youngest professional fighter in the game at one point. Devin's been a pro since he was 17 years old. Devin's been in huge fights. Devin's undisputed champion at a younger age than most of these other people. So Devin's a different beast. Shakur is fought in the Olympics. He didn't win gold. I believe he won silver, but his talent is off the charts. Look at what he's done. Look at what he's done to fighters. His most recent fight, Concio, I can't remember the dude's name, but then before that, what he did to Valdez, like this dude is making good fighters look average. So Vasiliy, you can't go in there like you're going to collect data on them. You know why? Because they can adjust too. Devin don't just fight one style. Shakur don't just fight one style. These guys can adjust too. And oh yeah, they got processors too. So while you're collecting data on them, they're collecting data on you. You see what I'm saying? This is different types of levels. So has Father Time caught up to Loma? To me, he still looks athletic. He still has the footwork. He still has the ability. But that processor might be outdated. And that's what he's going to need to change. He's going to need that Apple upgrade. Okay, so you need to get to the new OS, because if he goes into the fight with Shakur and Devin with that same operating system that he used against Jermaine Ortiz, then I think G's going to be in here talking gorilla trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. The TBE will be right back. We are the Boxing Bros.